Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good day. This is Carla Next with today's inspiration. And as always, I'm happy to be here to encourage you and to remind you to live every day on purpose. Oh, I'm listening to very old school music like Motown and way back. I think that's Dave and Soul Man, Dave and whomever. Yeah, I'm a soul man. However, that's not what I want to talk about. It just caught my attention. Really, what I want to talk about is really sad. Our president. Yes, that man, that person in the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the Oval Office, whatever you want to say, 45. Okay. You know why we say 45? Because he's the 45th president. Every president has a number. It's kind of hard to say his name because it's kind of shameful, and I am not ashamed for saying I'm ashamed. It's kind of disgraceful of what's in the office, and that is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. What's sad is that almost every day, every single day, something he did something crazy, or most of all said something that's just utterly insane. Really. Um, But I had a thought, and I'm kind of tired of talking about him and talking about his the antics that's going on. But this is something. If again, it's my opinion, and it's from what I've observed. Um, so it's true. If he's talking, if he's tweeting, you better believe there's at least one lie in there or one untruth. I don't know what the difference is, but it's there. Now, I was thinking about him and thinking about even before he got into office. I really didn't know that much about him other than that he's a billionaire and he's built all of this real estate and what have you. Um, but I didn't really keep up with him. I enjoyed the show The Apprentice from way back when it first started. Now I hear some people say now, oh, I just couldn't watch him. I didn't like him. Well, I really had no opinion about him per se, but I liked the show because I like project management. I like teamwork. I like, seeing how people put things together. But now I'm thinking, even back then, um, he was a person that everybody felt that they had to kiss up to. And I'm saying that to say this. He still thinks he's a person that everybody has to kiss up to. He forgets that we don't serve him. He serve us. We're paying him to do a job. And his office is not to serve himself. It's not to make himself look good. But yet he is so intimidated by the past administrations. He can't get over it. He can't get over Hillary Clinton. It's like he's just consistently comparing himself, and then he builds. He it's not even called embellishment to me because it's just straight out lies. But he consistently does that. And again, I was thinking today, he's he's probably had this deficit in his personality and character and his mental state forever. But the thing is, we, and when I say we, I just mean people in general, have allowed him to function that way because back to the kiss up. Yes, sir. How high do you want me to jump? Sure, whatever you say. Yeah, that's right. Attaboy, people allowed him to do that. They enabled him because I guess he has some kind of power, which is money and position that people wanted. See, that's the problem. We want things that are not important. I'm not saying money is not important because you work, you should get paid. But when when we just be, you know, when we just want too much and want more, and And this is the person who could give it to me, so I need to kiss up to him. I call them butt kissers. Kissing his butt. Whatever you say, whatever you want. Yes, I'll do it. Whatever. Now he's in the White House and he think he can still do that. And it's just not, it's, although the government is a business, it's not business. It's like church. Some people want to operate it like business. You can't do that. It is business in the sense that you're taking care of business. And yes, there are some things, you got to deal with the financial. You got to deal with all that. You still have to pay the light bill. You have to do this. You have to pay this person. So in that regard, it is business. You're taking care of business. And then for the business of the church, that's a ministry. And we can't treat people as though they are our employees. When you're in ministry, you're working with people, you're building a team, you're one family. you know and with the government, it's different than ministry, but it's still not running a corporation. You're dealing with I want to say civility, but I don't know if that's the right word. um you're a civil worker. You are dealing with the community. You're dealing with families. You're dealing with all of these entities. And then, yeah, there is the business side to it. But to run the government, you got to remember that you're there to serve the people. One of my sister friends on Facebook this morning uh, looked like God was just giving her all of these messages, and she was writing about how um, how important the leadership is, and how even it matters to God, and how destruction can come because of tainted leadership. Remember, the people wanted to be, God's people wanted to be like the world. They wanted kings, you know. And then, well, I think before that they had judges, but they wanted kings. They wanted to be like the other nations. And that was not God's design for his people, but they wanted it. They wanted it just like them. So he gave them what they wanted. And in many times they were sorry. There was destruction. I mean, one of the worst kings I think about is Saul. Um, and he was so, I mean, it kind of sound kind of familiar, kind of sound like 2017. He was so intimidated and insecure and jealous, had envy for David. And David was the chosen king, so maybe that was why. Maybe he saw that, but he's like, he's not gonna have my kingdom, and that was his attitude, just mean and cruel, um, awful, But anyway, up to today, we can't be in leadership and not care about people and only want to serve yourself, your own good. You only want to be big in everybody's eyes. Look what I did, or this is what we did. Not when I say we, I mean he and his imps, or he and his his staff, the ones who jumping around saying yes sir, let me kiss your butt. Those we have to remember who we're serving. Number one, I'm going to try to get out the White House right now, but just leadership in general, especially when God puts you in a position to lead. Remember, you're dealing with people and you're leading people. But people, you have to have compassion. You have to have consideration. You have to care about them more than yourself. By that I mean, don't forget that they're serving a purpose. If the people aren't happy, if your workers aren't happy, if your team members aren't happy or not taken care of, how can they rightfully um, perform in their position? If they're worked to death, not appreciated, not paid anything, if they're faced with a hostile environment, how do you expect to get anything good from them? The best place to me is when people are happy. to do their job, when they're happy to please their boss. And that usually happens not because they're saying, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and let me kiss your butt. It's because that leader cares about them. Show people how much you care about them. You could do that in action. You don't have to walk around all day hugging everybody. I probably would do that, but, that's not normal. But let people know you have a heart. Don't be so hard on people. Yeah, you have to deal with business, but who's performing the business? It's called human resources. You're using human beings. They are your resources to get the job done. So we cannot be insensitive. We have to have integrity. We can't be running around trying to get through loopholes and cheating and lying and stealing. You can't do that, especially if you call yourself a child of God. You need to represent your father. You need to look like your father. Um, Treat people well. Jesus was incredibly supportive with his disciples, wasn't he? He taught them. He uh, he taught by example. There was always teachable moments. My kids get mad with me because I find a teachable moment anytime, anywhere, and I definitely will teach. And they like, okay, mama, okay. But, I want you to know better. I want you to grow strong. I want the best for you. And then I want to bring the best out of you. That's another thing a leader needs to do. Again, not just be so focused on themselves, but I want you to shine. I want you to be all that you can be. I want you to feel good about yourself. So I need to make those kind of opportunities, correct? I need to train. Training should be available so that you can grow and develop. I don't want you just here just to make a paycheck, just to get paid. Though that, of course, well, we know that's why most of us go get a job. But why not have the opportunity to become fully who God intended you to be? All right, to do what you need to do, and to build yourself up even before you, if you're to move on to another level, you should have learned something from where you are right now. I tell my daughter, Tiffany, she's going through a lot on her job. It's very difficult. Not her job, but the company, the program, all of that other stuff. But I tell her, I say, you're there for a purpose. She loves her job. She's a therapist. She loves her children, as she calls them. She loves all of that, and she's doing well with that. I said, but there's something for you to learn in this environment, and that's why you're there. Of course, you're being a blessing to others, because she'll tell me every now and then somebody will come back and say thank you. Somebody will come back and say, "Oh, I was looking for you. I needed you." And that warms her heart. But it's all this other stuff. And I said, you're going to be a better person because of this. You needed to see this. In my mind, I see Tiffany running her own program, her own foundation or something, being a program director. But see, she needs to learn all of this so that she can know this is not how you treat people. This is not what you can do. She needs to be on both sides. She's there to learn something. She may not see it right now, but she will. So learn what you can where you are. Bloom where you are. And employees, leaders should make that possible for you. Okay, I just want to encourage everybody, and I want to ask you, encourage you, strongly urge you not to be a butt kisser. Stop enabling bad behavior. I don't care if they are your higher ups. You do your job and you do your best, but you don't have to placate them. You don't have to lose your sense of self just to make them feel good about themselves. Okay? Stop kissing butt. Stop kissing up. God bless you. This is Carla Wynix with today's inspiration.